What was Jesus' cross? It was his action of taking suffering for the sake of somebody else, right? He was taking your suffering so that you wouldn't have to take it. He was inconveniencing himself so that you could be free. And so in the same way, we are called to carry crosses, to suffer for the sake of other people. And we'll talk a little bit about what that looks like. But first, let's just talk about the motivation. The book of Hebrews says that the reason Jesus went to the cross was for the joy set before him. What's the joy set before Jesus? What's the thing that Jesus could not have unless he went to the cross? You. He couldn't have a relationship with you. And he couldn't have a relationship with everyone else in this room, everyone else on earth, if he didn't go to that cross. And so in the same way, as we think about carrying our crosses, let's think, what is the joy set before us? Most often when we think about interacting with other people, the joy set before us is something that they can do for us, right? You're going to make me happy. You're going to open doors for me. You're going to treat me well. But Jesus says uniquely Christian people carry a cross that says, you may not benefit me. In fact, you may inconvenience me. You may even hurt me, but I'm going to continue to love you. And the joy set before all of us that motivates that kind of action is knowing that, first of all, you can have a relationship with that other person, and ultimately that they can have a relationship with Jesus. So as you think about this, think of the joy set before you. And then think about these two ways that this plays itself out. First, when you suffer for the gospel, you are becoming more like Jesus. Right? The book of 2 Corinthians chapter 1 says, just as we share abundantly in the sufferings of Christ, so also our comfort abounds through Christ. In other words, if Christ was perfect and Christ was from God and Christ came to this earth and he suffered at the hands of sinful people, if I too am in this world suffering at the hands of sinful people for the testimony of the gospel, then I am in line with Jesus. But then also, that there's a direct line between your suffering and the benefit of other people. The same passage from 2 Corinthians continues, if we are distressed, it is for your comfort and salvation. If we are comforted, it is for your comfort, which produces in you patient endurance of the same sufferings we suffer. So what could that look like? What if you were willing to suffer for years as a parent, raising a child who generally didn't give much back to you, giving up your opportunities for making more money, going on more vacations, doing what you wanted to do with your time. But the benefit is that because you carried that cross, that they not only know who Jesus is, but they saw Jesus in your life. What if you ran your business in such a way that you didn't engage in some maybe unethical behavior or treatment of your employees or any shady business practices, but instead were generous with your employees, gave them maybe more than what they were owed or what they deserved. And because of that, you didn't get to make as much money as you might have. Your business didn't advance the way you wished it would, but those people benefited from you. What if in your friend group, you're not willing to go along with whatever they're saying they want to do? You stay home that night, or you maybe even stand up to it. And the result is you lose those friends. But then one friend sees you stand up for that truth and respects it enough to ask you about it. Or what if you do the exact same thing? You stand up to your friend group and everyone leaves you. But in doing so, you inspire a younger person who sees that faithfulness and says, I want to be faithful like that. And though maybe no one came to the faith because of your carrying of your cross inspired another Christian to carry their cross. And 50 years later, they are serving people and bringing people to Jesus. I don't know what it looks like, but I know that Jesus draws a direct line between your suffering and someone else's benefit.